What's up everybody, it's your boy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. In today's video, we're gonna take a tour outside of the Denver metro area and go check out Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and talk about all the fun things there are to do while you're there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that little notification bell to be alerted when I upload new videos, as I try to upload new videos on all things Colorado and real estate. Before we get into it, as a quick reminder, I am a licensed real estate agent out here in the Denver metro area. So if you have been thinking about moving out here or have any questions about the market out here or need an agent in your local area, feel free to give me a call, text, or shoot an email to the information below or drop a comment, whatever works, and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it. All right, let's first figure out where exactly Glenwood Springs is in relation to Denver. So if you're driving from downtown Denver, it'll probably take about 2 hours if there's little to no traffic. If there's traffic and you're going, on a weekend or holidays, it could take closer to 3 hours. So make sure you just plan accordingly. Glenwood Springs is also about the same elevation as Denver, about 5,000 to 6,000 feet depending on where you are. So it's very similar climate, nice and warm summers, not too bad, somewhat cold winters and snow. If you're going to be staying there for a night or two, there's plenty of small local hotels. There's also a couple larger chains, and then you can also stay at the Historic Hotel Colorado. And depending on the time of year, you could probably get one of those for around $100 to $200 a night. Or if you'd rather stay in an Airbnb, they've also got plenty of Airbnbs around $150 to $200 per night, again, depending on the season. Now let's go over, in my opinion, the best things to do while you're in Glenwood Springs. Number one on this list is riding bikes, and probably the most popular trail is the Glenwood Canyon Trail. It follows I-70 in Colorado Springs for about 16 or so miles, taking you through the canyon and passing Hanging Lake and a few other trails, but we'll talk more about those a little later. There are 3 rest stops along the trail, so if you just want to stop and hang out by the river or just take a rest, you can do that in those rest areas. They also have bathrooms and place to lock up your bike, parking lot, and some other amenities there. And you'll want to make sure to check that trail is actually open for the time you're going. It can close intermittently throughout the year based on either weather or climate. And then also if they're doing some construction on I-70, and because it's so close to I-70, they might have to block off part of the trail to do the construction. Now, if you don't have a bike already or have a way to transport your bike to Glenwood Springs, there are plenty of places to rent bikes, such as Canyon Bikes and the Glenwood Adventure Company, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. All right, the next thing on the list is going hiking. And probably the most popular and famous hike around Glenwood Springs is doing the Hanging Lake Trail. It's only about a 3-mile hike up the trail to Hanging Lake, but you'll gain about 1,000 or so feet in elevation. So it's a pretty difficult hike, so you want to make sure you got plenty of water and supplies. Now this is a great hike where you'll get plenty of photo opportunities for the canyon and of course the lake itself once you reach the top. And if you're feeling extra crazy, you can actually take the Glenwood Canyon bike trail from Glenwood Canyon about 10 miles in to the Hanging Lake Trailhead, where you can start the hike from there. Now, because it is such a popular hike, they are requiring permits now for it. It's only about $12 a permit, so I think that's well worth it, but you'll just want to make sure you get a reservation well in advance just to make sure you got a spot. The next trail you're going to want to check out is called the Grizzly Creek Trail. This one's about 8 miles round trip, and the first 2 miles of it in are pretty easy, but then it gets a little bit steeper after that, and there's not really a viewpoint like there is in Hanging Lake. You get to the end of the lake and you see it. So for this one, you can kind of turn around whenever you want, because once you get to the end, it's just an out and back trail, so you can kind of decide how long you want to do this hike for. And during it, you'll gain about 2,000 feet of elevation. So again, just make sure you bring plenty of water and have comfortable shoes. And again, if you don't want to do the full 8 miles, you can kind of turn around whenever. The third place you're going to want to check out while you're there is the Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. It's pretty much a mini amusement park on top of the mountain. It's going to take a gondola ride to get to the top. They've got a few rides, a couple caves to explore, and then great views of Glenwood Canyon and everything around. So for just a ride on the gondola to the top of the mountain, it's about $20. If you want to add the cave tours onto it, then it increases to about $35. And then if you want to do the full package, which includes the gondola ride, the 2 caves, and all the rides there, it comes out to about around $60. It's a little bit cheaper for kids, 3 to 12, but those are generally the prices for adults. The first out of the 2 caves is called the Fairy Cave. That one's a guided tour, so you'll wait in line, you'll get a guide that takes you into the cave, and then you'll check out the history, how it was formed, and just get kind of an overall idea of the cave itself. And the second tour is the Kings Row Cave, and that one's a self-guided tour, so if you just want to go in there and kind of explore around, you can do it at your own pace. If you want to check out some of the rides while you're up there, there's the Alpine Coaster, which will shoot you pretty much, I think it's about 3,500 feet down the side of the mountain, going through all the trees, going to the open areas. There's the Soaring Eagle zip line, which will pull you back about 600 feet and then launch you straight back to the start. And then there's the giant canyon swing, which will swing you all the way over the canyon. So you can pretty much, when you're facing down, you're looking at the Colorado River, I-70, and the entire Glenwood Canyon area. They also have a roller coaster, a mine drop, and a Ferris wheel if you want to check those out as well. Next on the list is to check out the hot springs. Now the 2 main hot springs in the area is the Iron Mountain Hot Spring and then the Glenwood Hot Spring Pool. The Iron Mountain Hot Springs are situated just on the Colorado River with Rocky Mountain views all around. They have about 16 geothermal soaking pools to choose from, with amenities such as towels at each pool, changing room to change in, and then restaurant for any food or drink that you want. Now reservations are required for this, and for 2.5 hours, it's only about $30. The Glenwood Hot Springs are located pretty much right in the heart of Glenwood Springs, walking distance to downtown and Hotel Colorado, and most of the other hotels that are nearby. So if you're just looking to do a quick walk and hang out at one of these hot springs, it could be a good one to go check out. All right, I want to try to keep this video short, so at number 5, I'm just going to kind of put in some honorable mentions. The first one is to take a rafting trip down the Colorado River. There's plenty of rafting companies that are in Glenwood Springs that can do this, and prices will vary, so just make sure to check around to see what the best deal is. If you'd rather just hang out, you can just hang out around downtown Glenwood Springs. There's the Casey Brewing Company, which has a lot of sours, so if you like sour beer, it's a great place to grab a beer. Or you can visit the Glenwood Canyon Brewing Company to also get a beer and food, and then of course there's plenty of restaurants around. There are also plenty of opportunities to go fishing, ride ATVs, ride horses, go golfing, go disc golfing, and then if you're there during the winter months, you can also go skiing and snowshoeing. Now I'm sure I left out a bunch of stuff, so if there's any other questions you have about Glenwood Springs, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me at my information below, and I'll be happy to address it or make a video about it. Also, if you have any other additional questions about moving out to Colorado, or have something you want me to touch on about the Colorado and Denver areas, again, feel free to drop a comment or reach out to me and I'll be happy to make a video on it. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell, and I will see you on the next one.